Enhancement Talent of the Week. Whoa, with Donnie and Jay. The Jobbers might not have the greatest physiques. Whoa, Enhancement Talent of the Week.
The Enhancement Talent of the Week is brought to you by Starwell Books, your map to amazing stories. Starwell Books is the publisher of the best-selling science fiction series, The Adventures of Duke LaGrange. You can visit them today at starwellbooks.com or wherever books are sold, mostly online now, because I know a lot of bookstores were struggling anyway. And with the COVID-19, I don't know if they're still chugging along or not.
Yeah, who knows? Hardly everything seems to be online these days, so good thing you can check them out there.
Donnie, I'm really excited to do the Enhancement Talent of the Week this week because it's a great story, and it's a great story for what this talent did after he left the ring, at least his time in the WWF and Herb Abrams' UWF, not to give away too much already. So it's a really cool one, a little bit different than the ones that we've done before. So like I mentioned, he spent most of his enhancement time with the WWF. He wrestled everybody from Dusty Rhodes to Andre the Giant and Haku the Colossal Connection, actually wrestled them twice. The Rockers, Jake the Snake, the Bushwhackers, Bob Backlund, the Steiner Brothers, a pretty lengthy run there from about 89 to 92, 93. He teamed with other great enhancement talents like Bob Bradley and Tom Stone. He also spent time in Herb Abrams' UWF, like I mentioned before, so he has that going for him. And it's interesting because I read an interview he did 2 years ago, so relatively recent. And he said some really cool stuff, and I'll link this in the show notes because I definitely think everybody should go read it. But he said he loved working with the Bushwhackers, that they were really funny, and that the Rockers, were fast-paced, and there was a lot to keep up with them. He did mention, and he threw this out, so a little bit of a shoot here, that he said Tony Atlas, as Saba Simba at the time, was the worst worker that he ever worked with, and that Ultimate Warrior was one of the most stiff. So I thought that was interesting, throwing some shade on Saba Simba. The other thing that this enhancement talent mentioned was he was able to pay off his entire wrestling school after 1 year of working the WWF, traveling around, getting paid by the night, but doing enhancement work. So that was kind of cool. He was able to not only pay off his bills, support his family, all that good stuff. And he actually got into the business he grew up in the Minnesota area when Hogan was really rocking it with the AWA. He had a meeting set up with Hulk Hogan through a mutual friend, which was kind of cool. And he went there and he talked to Hogan. He said Hogan was really cool, talked to him about how to get into the business. And he thought about it for 2 years and then got back in and actually made a little bit of a career, 20 plus year career for himself. I thought that was kind of cool. So he wrestled in the WWF, UWF. He did some independent shows. Then he said, you know what? I'm going to be an actor. And he wanted to go be an actor and a stuntman. He's appeared in over 34 films, 30 commercials, 11 TV shows, 40 music videos. His most noted and one that you'll probably remember cameos came in the Adam Sandler movie, The Wedding Singer. He was the large Billy Idol fan on the airplane. And wow, that's one of the best movie roles by a wrestler I can think of, at least of that era. So pretty cool stuff there, working with Adam Sandler. He's done everything. He held an independent title in Alaska. Who knew they had independent wrestling in Alaska? And he still keeps in touch with the Iron Sheik. He considers him a good friend. And he even wrestled in 2019 in Canada. And yes, he wrestled in basically swimming trunks and tennis shoes. The guy just doesn't give a shit about anything. He's amazing. And I'm talking about enhancement talent extraordinaire, Renaissance man, movie star, Alaskan independent wrestling champion. That is the great Mr. Outrageous, Al Burke.
Wow, quite a rundown.
Yeah, do you remember Al Burke? He looked kind of like Maniac Mike Davis, but like a little bit bigger.
Not ringing a bell this time. That's not a name that's coming to my head right away.
Well, you have to check it out. And he actually... he was thought of so highly by the WWF brass at the time that he, for a year or so, actually coordinated the jobbers that would come out of Minnesota when they do that run through the upper Midwest. And so he would be the one that would handpick enhancement talent and send them through to the WWF. He said he did get a little bit of flack sometimes by sending guys in that had too good of a physique. Obviously, you don't want an enhancement talent that can, outshine the stars there. And so some of the guys sent back, so to speak, but he was kind of the funnel for enhancement talent and enhancement work in the WWF through that in that geographical area. Yeah, kind of cool. So Al Burke, everybody go check him out. In the show notes, I'll include his match with Saba Simba, one of his matches with the Colossal Connection, as well as his last 2019 showing for Championship Wrestling of Ontario. So that'll be an interesting one. Has a great vignette, a little promo action in there with him on the beach. Highly recommend it. The dude's a character. I mean, I think he should have been used more than just enhancement talent. The guy has something there. And then I'll also include the interview that I mentioned as well in the show notes. So this week's enhancement talent of the week is Al Burke. So if you like the enhancement talent of the week, and if you like the Wrestling Life Support podcast and everything that we do here, whether it's our Dream Card series, our Return to the Coliseum series, or just reviewing the big pay-per-views and wrestling events of yesteryear, Donnie, how can you find us on social media?
You can follow us at WLS Podcast or search Wrestling Life Support Podcast.
And also don't forget to subscribe to us with whatever podcast service you prefer. Leave us a review. Hopefully it's a good one. Hopefully you're enjoying what we're doing. It really means a lot and it helps us out and it keeps the Wrestling Life Support going on strong.